Oh boy. Okay, so let's finally I need you to do one thing for me, Mitch. Show me the money. Shohei Ohtani is now the richest man in baseball. Sort of.
Sort of.
Sort of. We got some developments yesterday on the $700 million 10-year contract that he signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers, which, by the way, we talked about in our group chat. I like that Ohtani didn't do anything, to he didn't first of all, they didn't allow a reporter to break the news first, from what I believe. They
I
didn't
love it.
make some big statement until after they made the signing official. Shohei just put up a picture of the Dodgers logo on there and said, "I'm going with the Dodgers." And I'm like, you know what? Respect it. That's a simple way of doing it. I've always said if I was a professional athlete and grew up in this wave of like social media reporting that we've been accustomed to, I know that I would have put out a tweet that said, Mitch Spinell plans to sign a 10-year, $700 million contract with the New York Yankees per Mitch Spinell. I always would have done that, but it would have been stupid. And by the way, I was going to say Guardians. I was going to say with the Guardians, but then you would have made fun of me because there's no way they would give a contract like that. Although they could have. And we'll get to that
They
in a second
could. They could. Well,
because
then
it's
I
development.
won't go to that point yet because I want you to be able to lead that point. But $700 million man. Like, not only that, Mitch, he is so likable. And for a superstar. And listen, there's guys that people don't like. I I will start with a guy that I do like, that is a superstar in baseball. Fernando Tatis Jr. People don't like how he showboats or how he reacts. I am not
Or get
part of that. It's
suspended.
usually the older crowd. Well, that I'm taking that differently. Don't That's not included. Um, the older crowd doesn't like that. At the same time, this is a sport that you need to get more marketable, that you need to allow other people to watch. And I think allowing pitchers and hitters to celebrate and do whatever they want is a good thing. Shohei Ohtani, you know how he does it? He just hits 400-foot home runs and he comes out and he strikes out 12 of your guys in 6 innings, like, and doesn't give up a run. He is such a subtle superstar. Part of it is because he is not a dominant speaking player. At the same time, and he's been on the West Coast his entire career so far, which is where he's probably going to end his career. He'll be 39 by the time the contract ends with the Dodgers. I loved how he broke it. You heard early on, not want anything getting leaked. And what did it seem like all of a sudden was going to happen? It looked like this guy was going to be a Toronto Blue Jay. They had the color right. He was going to be
Yeah.
wearing blue, but it wasn't Toronto. And you had reporters come out and apologize for that. The Blue Jays went from 14-1 to 9-1 odds on the FanDuel Sportsbook for World Series winners. It looked like all indications pointed he was going to be a Blue Jay. And it's almost like he stayed true to his word. Maybe he wanted to go to Toronto, and maybe it was as soon as that was leaked. Nope, you guys didn't. You guys didn't listen to me.
And everybody sold the Dodgers when Dave Roberts came out and said what he said.
Yeah, I hate part of it because we play and root for a team that is a small market team
We do.
that refuses to spend money. At the same time, though, we said last year when Shohei Ohtani was at the peak of the season, this man is going to potentially be the closest guy to ever get billion with a B a contract. And there's a lot of people, myself included, that wonder, Mitch, if he was able to pitch in the 2024 season, how much more money could he have gotten? Would it have been more? Are we talking 800, 850? Are we talking close to $1 billion? We don't know. We'll never know. But what Shohei Ohtani did, and this is a good segue into what I know you want to talk about, is he took a deal that shows his worth, but also in a way we've never seen done before, that allows his team to go out and be competitive and not handicap the team with the contract. Not a good example here, but still sports. Not handicap a team like the Browns are handicapped with Deshaun Watson with 230 million. Shohei said, "Give me 700 million. I'm going to manipulate this a way that's never been done before. The Dodgers are going to invent the credit card, basically, and we're going to go get whoever we want to surround not only myself, but Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Walker Bueller and all these other stars that are out in LA for the Dodgers. And as much crap as you can give the Dodgers for the lack of World Series they've won, this is a new era in LA. And this is a team that is now going to be extremely frightening to play. and a team that other players are going to want to go to because of what Shohei Ohtani has done with his contract, they can go there and still get paid a pretty penny.
So just to make sure our numbers are covered, because I don't know if you said it, but I'll just if you so I'll repeat it again. Ohtani is going to defer 68 million of the $70 million he'll make per year of the 10-year contract, allowing the team to keep spending. So it's not like he's going to get paid $70 million every season for the next 10 years. He's essentially going to get paid $2 million per year over the next 10 years, make a total of $20 million for that entire run. And then the Dodgers I don't know if they're going to pay him in installments for the rest of his life, or if it's going to be like a lump sum all at once, from what I remember. And that's good. And that's smart for him, because he'll make a portion of the money that will get taxed on with the crazy California tax laws, but it won't be like losing half of $700 million or $70 million a year.
So the 70 million with the taxes, because we didn't know this was going to happen until yesterday.
Right.
He would have made upwards of 34 million after the California taxes.
If he was making that's
70 million a year. Which I'm just putting that into context for all the listeners and viewers out there, because that is absurd. But he doesn't have to worry about that now. He
can move to somewhere. He can move to Florida and make it tax free. As far again, I'm not 100 so on tax laws per state, but what's good for him though, and I love the part of this deal, like $2 million is $2 million per year. That's a good salary to make in a year for any job. It doesn't allow him to get fat and happy, from what I'm gathering, because a lot, and I don't mean to change the topic, but a lot of the thing after the play-in tournament this week with like the Lakers and everybody, and with the Pelicans with Zion Williamson, everyone kept reiterating how he's fat and happy with that fat contract in New Orleans, and he's out of shape. Yeah, I'm not getting into that, but Ohtani doesn't have this incentive to be like this big spender, because you're not getting the money completely up front for the next 10 years. That could make, obviously there's a lot of things he wants to accomplish. He probably wants to win the World Series title, multiple World Series titles. I'm trying to check and see if I know he's won MVP. I'm sure he would want to win the Cy Young Award. He'd want to win a Cy Young Award at some point when he's still pitching, because again, I don't think he's going to pitch forever at the rate that he's going, and he probably won't pitch this year with the surgery he's going under. But I don't know. I think this is very interesting, because we've seen so many contracts just flame out on guys, and they still have to get paid the money anyway. The Dodgers are going to have to pay, but Ohtani is taking a long-term business decision into what could result in him pushing himself a little harder, pushing the team a little harder, and that could lead to them becoming this. Like you make this happen with the contract, with this money you're spending. This is like pointing two metaphorical middle fingers at the world of baseball and saying, catch up, come after us.
Yeah. It's we've never seen something like this before. And I use that analogy. The Dodgers invented the credit card. What it basically almost comes to. You, myself, and a lot of other friends of mine, I'm sure friends of yours too, that are Guardians fans, knew we were never going to be in the market for Shohei Ohtani. Seeing this, though, it does raise the thought of, is that something that could have been done? And you look at the Guardians, they can afford $2 million a year for players. We just gave Austin Hedges, which, by the way, welcome back, Hedgie, happy to have you, $4 million. There is a lot of belief, and it's picked up steam over the past few years, that Dolan eventually will sell the team to new minority owner Blitzer.
Yes.
He has that type of money. We know that from what he's done in his past. The other teams he's been part ownership or still owns. I believe the New Jersey Devils. I believe the Philadelphia 76ers, off the top of my head, are two of the teams. Why couldn't they have done that? And it hurts, because we wanted something like that. We want that guy. And look, we have a guy that did something like that in Jose Ramirez. I'm not going to sit here as big of a fan of Jose Ramirez as much as I pounded the drum that he is so good and better than Lindor and this, that, whatever. Ohtani obviously is better than Jose. But you now see this blueprint, and it's like, why can't we go do that for somebody else? I am very intrigued, though, Mitch, because a lot of the times what we see when it comes to these deals, and we saw it almost immediately in the NFL with Deshaun Watson. As soon as a deal like this happens, a team follows suit. a team does it better. I think there's going to be one or two options here that happen. I would be a fan of either. I'm not going to say I hate one more than the other. I think you're going to see more teams go for this and try to do this. I also think you could see a lot of teams now come in and say, that's it. We've had it. Salary cap, baseball. Now we can't do this. And baseball is the one sport that has never had a salary cap. Right or wrong, baseball is also the sport that has so much unpredictability in it. Mm-hmm. Because look at all these teams, the Arizona Diamondbacks making the World Series, the Guardians in 2022 winning their wild card round,
right?
6 team making the World Series. Like, you don't have to have the best players in baseball to win the World Series. It certainly helps. I'm not just disregarding that fact at all. But I do think there are going to be teams that now could potentially start to pound the drum of, we need a salary cap. And the one team that nobody's talking about that I think we could see do it is the San Diego Padres, because they are in a world of hurt with all the money they gave those players, to where they had to trade Juan Soto. They are having to take loans out to pay people in the organization because they spent so much money. The Dodgers are the cream of the crop. They are the best team in the NL, most recognizable team in the NL, most notable team, if not the most notable team in all baseball. It's them and the Yankees. We know this. There's nothing wrong in saying that. I'm intrigued to see where the domino falls, because I think the domino falls one way or the other. And maybe it's not a necessarily hard salary cap, but maybe it's more luxury tax percentage. Maybe it's more whatever. I don't know. I just think that we will see a domino effect from something like this. For who? I don't know, though.
I think they're going to maybe try and implement a salary floor, because they're not going to try and handicap all the big market bullies that make up the stars in this league, that have the most talent and are in the playoffs year in and year out. If anything, I think they're going to try and make these other teams like the Guardians and Pirates be like, hey, you guys got to start spending some more money if you want to, be a part of this league still, because some of the teams that Ohtani would have been making more this season, more than the entire rosters, wasn't absurd.
Yeah. It was, let me think. If he would have, let me put it this way, the Marlins are valued at $1 billion. So he's 300 million below what an entire organization is valued at. He would have been making more than the Guardians, the Reds, the Pirates, the Rays, the A's. And those are just the teams off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's before he gave up the 68 million.
If he'd had the contract we thought he would this year, he would have made more than the Guardians at 66.8 million, Miami at 65.9, Kansas City at 65.4, Milwaukee 61.6, Cincinnati 59.9, Pittsburgh 54.2, Baltimore at 42.8, and Oakland at 38.6.
I will go to your point. So I will say it goes 3 ways. I think it's either a salary cap, more teams do this deal, or there will be a salary floor. I am in favor for any of those 3. I'm only in favor if it's more deals like this, if the Guardians can somehow do it, which based off what you sent me, doesn't look like the Guardians going to do it, because we have a guy the Guardians are looking to trade in Shane Bieber.
I take that back. That was not an official report.
Oh, okay.
So I can't say anything about that yet.